Yes sir, we're back at it again with another spectacular Spider-Man video, but we're here to talk about the legendary brawl between Peter Parker versus Venom. This man Eddie Brock is the embodiment of pure hatred. He wakes up early just so that he has extra time to hate. But before we jump into this video, if you guys don't mind smashing that subscribe button real quick so you do not miss any more spectacular Spider-Man videos, that'll help me out a lot, and it's also free to subscribe. So the scene kicks off with Peter Parker getting ready to leave his house so that he can go check in with Aunt May at the hospital. And this man really thought that it would be a normal day, but what he didn't know was that Eddie Brock had different plans for Spider-Man today. Out of nowhere, Spider-Man gets grabbed by his back and gets tossed onto the concrete. Like, dog, this is actually crazy. This man Peter really isn't safe anywhere he goes, not even in his own backyard. Like, he didn't even have time to put on his mask, and Venom is already spawn camping him at his own property. Like, Eddie Brock, I promise you, it's not that serious. Like, go find a hobby or something. Go color a book or draw a painting, I don't know. Venom pulled up on Spider-Man with straight evil intentions because he backhands him, had that boy laying on the floor like LeBron James after being eliminated from the playoffs, and then Venom grabs Spider-Man by the shoulders and smacks him onto the wall. But then Venom tries going in for a punch, but he says, nope, not today. So Spider-Man starts questioning how the symbiote got unleashed, and he tells us that he destroyed it for good. But hold on, I don't think he actually got rid of the symbiote, because all they did was place it inside of a container to where Venom took control of Eddie Brock.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Spider-Man rushes in for an attack, but he instantly gets grabbed by his head like a grape getting ready to be squashed. And then Venom says, hold this three-piece combo. Then puts his head on the ground, and I don't know why Venom was hovering over Spider-Man like this. Like, you are not Diddy, but I'ma let it slide for the one time. And Venom recognized that Peter Parker is indeed Spider-Man, so he tells him that he's gonna try his hardest to ruin his life and do whatever he can to make everything harder for him, talking about how he's poison to both Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
Huh?
Like, bro, this episode really went from 0 to 100 real quick, no Drake. Like, it really started off as a peaceful episode and then turned into nothing but straight violence. And Peter Parker definitely smelled Venom's stank ass breath, so he webs him in the face, then says, catch this elbow, and how about a donkey kick? And we see that Venom is clearly blind, but instead of going in for a few close combat attacks, this man Peter sells the bag completely and webs him for the second time. And yeah, this is where things go from north to south real quick. Venom breaks out of Spider-Man's webs and then slings him towards himself and then serves him up with a scrumptious knuckle sandwich. But Spider-Man says schmoing, 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 and eats that up with no problem, cause he gets back up and hops onto Venom. But right as we all thought he was about to cook, he gets completely manhandled and karate kicked straight into the trash. And I'm not gonna lie, at this point,
it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good.
So Venom proceeds to wrap Spider-Man around like he's an ancient mummy, and then he tells him that he's gonna make him suffer a little bit longer before packing him up. Like, bro, you can't convince me that this is not D1 level of hating. Someone give Venom a medal for this performance, the greatest hater of the century. And Venom said he was trying to get personal with Peter Parker, cause he's like, after all, we know who you are and everyone you care about.
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9.
And while I'm watching this, I'm just telling Spider-Man through my screen to get back up and stop Venom before he goes on a 500 kill streak and takes out all of New York. But all I can say is that you're in real trouble, Peter Parker. So Venom rolls up on Aunt May at the hospital, and I really thought this would be Green Goblin traumatizing Aunt May all over again, but this version of Spider-Man is never gonna let that slide because he lands on Venom and gets to throwing out hands immediately. And my guy Peter Parker told Venom that he does not play around when it comes to family. He said, you're gonna have to get by me first, like it's a final boss battle. So Spider-Man dives in like Rod Wave jumping into a pile of Big Macs with extra cheese and barbecue sauce added on the sides, and then Venom says weave, gives him a vicious gut punch into an uppercut, and then smacks him against the wall. Like, yo, this man Venom is a freak. What is he trying to do with Peter? I thought y'all were trying to fight. Spider-Man and Venom drop down one story below, and then he jumps over his back and tries webbing him behind himself, but Spider-Man must have forgot that Venom weighs like 300 pounds. He has the same build as Queso. He should have already knew those webs were gonna do absolutely nothing. Venom effortlessly swings Spider-Man onto the wall, and I don't know how his back isn't broken after all all these blows from Venom. But I know one thing for sure, that Spider-Man suit must be working overtime to keep Peter's bones from not shattering into 50 million different pieces. So Venom goes in for a Hulk smash, but Spider-Man says he's out of there ASAP, and then Venom webs Spider-Man in the face so that he can go back up to Aunt May and try and catch her lacking in her hospital bed. But Spider-Man said today was the wrong day to mess with him. Venom should have waited until his aunt recovered and made it home. But anywho, Spider-Man puts Venom into a chokehold and gives him a few punches. So then they both go at it for a little while, and this man was really about to snap Peter in half like a pencil, but then Venom spares his life by throwing him downwards, and then he tells him that he's after his snow bunny, Gwen Stacy. And if you guys have seen the Spider-Man movies, you know that if it's any version of Spider-Man, the only thing they care about most is their girl.
Has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in!
And before we get into the main course, might as well hit that subscribe button if you made it this far. It doesn't hurt to press that button. So Spider-Man pulls up to the parade and he sees Mary Jane hanging out with the Flash, and I know he was in utter shock after seeing MJ with another man this week. Like bro, wasn't she just with Eddie Brock the other day? She really be getting passed around more than Kevin Durant. She can't stick to one guy at once. Spider-Man sees Gwen Stacy being tied up and being held hostage by Venom, but right as he was about to go in to save her, he gets absolutely bodied by Venom. And all I can say is that Peter's spidey senses must have took a day off of vacation or something, because how did he not see that one coming? Like that was so obvious, even I would have sensed Venom.
Stop the cap.
And yo, here's the funny part, cause Spider-Man tells Eddie to stop causing all this destruction because the symbiote is trying to take control over him. But Peter didn't know that this man literally chose to be Venom. Like he wanted to gain all of these superpowers just so that he can go after Peter Parker. Like Eddie Brock is literally on the same level of hating as Kendrick Lamar when it comes to hating on Drake. And as soon as Spider-Man heard that Venom wanted nothing but straight smoke with him, he decided to swing his way off of the rooftop thinking he was about to get off easy. And Venom said he was trying to play Angry Birds with Spider-Man because he catapulted Spider-Man back onto the fighting arena, had that boy stumbling after getting severe brain damage from Venom's attacks. And Venom started thrashing around Spider-Man even though he tried talking it out with Venom like a good person, but he was not trying to hear anything Spider-Man wanted to say. He only came for his get back after how Peter bullied him in the last episode. So Spider-Man makes his way to Gwen Stacy, but then Venom appears out of nowhere like he's playing a game of Baldi's Basics, and then he starts choking the life out of Spider-Man. Like bro, let him go save Gwen Stacy. What do you gain from torturing Spider-Man? Like Eddie Brock is actually a cornball because he even unmasks himself just to give Peter a whole villain speech that clearly none of us wants to hear. And Spider-Man had enough with Venom, so he kicks him away and goes to rescue Gwen Stacy for like the third time. And Venom tried slamming Spider-Man, but all it did was make him bounce around on the balloon. Like Venom really fell for the easiest trick in the entire book because Spider-Man said, "Come rip off my suit."
What do you mean by that?
And then Venom tries clawing onto Spider-Man, but he says,
You're too slow!
Venom slowly crawls up to Spider-Man and gives him a Mike Tyson uppercut, only for Spider-Man to web downwards and catch Gwen Stacy just in time before this happens to her. And I'm not gonna lie, you gotta give respect for the type of hate Venom has for Spider-Man, cause he swoops in and grabs him, which results in Gwen Stacy falling to the ground. But Flash, being a real one, picks up the assist for Spider-Man and gives her a soft landing. So Venom rushes in with a left hook, but Peter says weave, backflip, and then he webs Venom to the other side, slamming him into a metal fence, had him screaming like this. Venom gets back up and tosses him into the air just for him to be tossed straight to the pavement, and he had my boy Spider-Man tasting nothing but the flavor of the bricks. And Venom said he's not finished because he grabs Spider-Man and then flings him onto the rooftop. Then Spider-Man gets on his knees, and initially when I was first watching this, I thought he accepted his fate and gave up, but he really used his 500 IQ because watch what he does. He tells the symbiote inside of Venom to return back to Spider-Man because he knows that it wants to be reunited back with its first partner. So it actually somehow works and the symbiote slips off of Eddie Brock. So Brock falls to the ground, and I know after all that fighting that boy is tired from all the physical exercise. But then right as the symbiote is about to take control of Peter Parker, they have a little conversation, and the symbiote suddenly realizes that this was all a trap and that Peter wanted nothing to do with him this entire time. Peter Parker puts up some barriers in order to prevent the symbiote from entering his body, and the episode ends with Peter Peter capturing it inside of a bag and getting rid of it permanently by draining it inside of a construction site. But yo, here's the real question. Is the symbiote really gone for good? And before we get into the main course of the video, might as well hit that subscribe button if you're here already. So after Venom pulled up to the Daily Bugle to reveal Spider-Man's real identity of him being Peter Parker under that mask, literally everyone in New York City was interrogating him, asking if this was actually true. But even though Peter denied those allegations, this man J. Jonah Jameson really said,
"Nah, I'ma do my own thing."
Like, despite the fact that most of Peter's friends and family members said that him being Spider-Man was completely cap, this man Jonah took off his ears and straight up ran off with what Venom told him. But honestly, I'm not even surprised, because once you're a hater, you're always a hater. Like, we really had a 40-year-old man and a symbiote consuming freak trying to ruin a 16-year-old's reputation. Nah, cause getting your own son to take down Spider-Man is crazy work. They really had this man inside of a spacesuit trying to fight Peter Parker. And also, what kind of whack-ass name is Colonel Jupiter? Like, they really be letting anyone hop inside of a suit and run the ones with Spider-Man. And the hatred is actually running deep, because Flash was out here framing Spider-Man by transforming into the black suit, making everyone think that Peter Parker was actually the one causing all these crimes. Like, my guy Peter was having a whole identity crisis. It was really him against the entire world. Like, me personally, if I was Spider-Man, I would have just accepted my fate and gave up right then and there. So we transition back to the high school where Flash is getting questioned by one of his friends, and he starts talking about, "Can you tell me why Peter Parker was dressed up as Spider-Man on Halloween? Anyone can suit up and pretend to be Spider-Man. Don't you remember? We had a whole dinosaur in the Spider Society." And I want all of you guys to think to yourself for a second, what would any egotistical high school football player want to do that makes them look cooler? Yep, that's right, put themselves inside of a Spider-Man suit. Like, nah, this man Flash really thinks he's him. You are not Spider-Man. How are you gonna try and steal Peter Parker's drip, but you bought that suit straight off of Temu? So these crooks pull up on Temu Spider-Man thinking he's about to be a free lick, free eats, free collectibles, cause they're like, wait, hold on, he's on crutches right now, which probably means he's injured.
You don't find that suspicious?
But they should have already knew this was a trap. Like, look at the smirk on this man's face. This was gonna be the best day of his entire life, cause he was really about to run Spider-Man's pockets and get put on the news in the same day. There's not much better you could ask for. And then Flash proceeds to get folded onto the ground like an omelet by getting his own crutches used against him. And then right as he's about to put Flash to sleep, like me after listening to a DDG song, the real Spider-Man finally shows up and webs the crutch out of his hands. And then bro finally realizes that this is all fake. He got tricked into pulling up on the wrong person, cause he starts hitting the Uncle Ruckus.
No, this can't be.
So Spider-Man tells a crook to hold Flash's crutch, jumps over him, and then grabs the other one, just for Spider-Man to pack him up in one swing. And then Spider-Man uses good or reliable, which is Spidey senses, cause he senses the other one coming from behind, but Spider-Man leaps behind him and kicks him in the back, making both of them get tangled together. And I'm not even gonna lie, that's embarrassing. Like, if you get cooked this badly and there's like 10 cameras on you at one time, there's only one option. You have to pack your bags and move to a whole different state. And we get the most unexpected pull-up, because as Spider-Man is talking to the news reporter, this man Venom comes in out of nowhere and kicks the crap out of Spider-Man, sending him crashing into a car. And oh nah, look at Venom's face. This man has never been more jolly in his entire life. I know he was dreaming all night of ruining Peter Parker's entire career. Like, this man Eddie Brock is a generational hater. I aspire to be like him. I need to start hating more and being less positive. Some of you guys need to suffer. I'm gonna be on my villain arc talking about,
This world shall know pain.
So Venom fires a couple of webs at Spider-Man, and he tells him that he's gonna unmask him and reveal his true identity. But not only that, he's also gonna make him drink the gene cleanser so that all of Peter's supernatural abilities are gone, reduced to atoms. Like, even Spider-Man was flabbergasted when he heard Venom talking about how he was gonna make him powerless so that he's unable to defend the people that he loves the most. Like, what has Peter done to deserve this type of treatment? There's no way Eddie Brock dislikes him that much. So the fight starts off with Venom launching at Spider-Man with a mean right hook, and I know he was tired of getting constantly stunned by Venom. And right as Venom tries going in for a second punch, this man Spider-Man says nope, and hits him with a double kick to the chin, knocking the taste out of Venom's mouth. Like, I know Venom felt that one deep down in his soul, because his head almost came off of his body. That's how hard he got kicked. And this part actually had me on the very edge of my seat, because Venom somehow manages to take off Peter's mask, which reveals his face, but then he flips upside down ground while still being unable to move because of the webs that have him glued against the car. But then Venom lands on top of the car, and Peter, being on some Wizards of Waverly Place type of timing, he sees that Spider-Man is no longer there. And yo, peep the facial expressions. This man really couldn't believe his eyes, and I low-key had the same reaction, because how did bro just disappear that quickly? Where could he have gone? So Spider-Man snags back the mask from Venom and puts it on his face, and then right as Venom is about to toss a whole car at him, he suddenly webs him across the entire street and makes him spin around like a Beyblade. And of course Venom manages to make a safe landing by using his webs. Like bro, take this in for a second. Imagine trying to explain to your car insurance company how your vehicle ended up like this. You can't even make anything up at that point. You're just gonna be sitting there trying to explain like your Z ass.
What do you say, Z? Because I don't know.
Spider-Man leaps forwards and throws a garbage can at Venom. Like nah, there's no way he actually thought that move would have any impact on Venom. So Venom uses the car that's behind Spider-Man and webs it towards him and then smacks Spider-Man right in the back, making him eat the concrete, and then Venom lunges onto the car right after. But the job's not finished yet, because Venom webs Spider-Man and makes him swing around town, sending him flying into the school entrance. And I'm not gonna hold you, Spectacular Spider-Man is moving like Tom Holland right now. He's looking like a straight fraud. And if you thought things couldn't get any worse, you were completely wrong, because Spider-Man starts spamming a bunch of webs at Venom, but he's just eating them up like a Big Mac. Like look at how Venom is walking towards Spider-Man. He's not even taking him a tad bit seriously. He's just toying around with him like it's Naruto versus Konohamaru. This is just straight up embarrassment. So Venom shoots a web at Spider-Man, but he says weave, and bro, look, this man just caused an entire hole in the stairs just by one single web. Like I don't know what they put inside of that symbiote, but they should have never gave it to Eddie Brock, because it's just way too overpowered. That's like giving the Infinity Gauntlet to Thanos. It's just not fair. And at this point, Spider-Man isn't even trying to fight Venom for real. He's just running away. But I guess his controller just disconnected, because he stood still, which sets up Venom for a perfect double knee kick like he's Robin, and he makes Spider-Man bash against the helicopter. Venom grapples over to Spider-Man, and I know the people inside of the chopper were pissing their pants, because imagine a 350-pound giant just jumping around on your helicopter while you're just trying to enjoy the view from up above. Like that's pretty scary if you ask me. I would have just jumped out of the helicopter and hoped somebody would just catch me. So Venom hits him with a scrumptious knuckle sandwich, making Peter fly to the ground. And bro, this man is just doing way too much now, because Venom breaks off of the propeller, making the passengers fly towards their death. But then Spider-Man comes in clutch and gives them a soft landing with his spiderwebs before the helicopter crashes and makes the entire school burn down. But right as Spider-Man is floating in the air, this man Venom swings in and kicks Spider-Man through the window and straight into the building. And then this freaky ass creature starts crawling onto the wall, and then he does Spider-Man in the worst way possible. Like I would not tolerate this kind of disrespect if it was me. This dude Venom grabs Spider-Man and slides him off of the table just like this and slams him against the wall. Bro, I had to double check if I was watching the right show, cause ain't no way it's called Spectacular Spider-Man, but this man is getting beat to a pulp. Like not even Tobey Maguire was getting cooked this badly in his own movie.
You're a victim.
And while Venom is distracted by Gwen Stacy, he just hops onto him like he's his dad or something, and then Spider-Man tells everyone to evacuate the area before he devours them like Rod Wave eating an entire bowl of KFC. But this is where Spider-Man finally turns the tables around, because he takes his head and slams him against the roof, and then Venom grabs him and swings him out of the window. But Spider-Man said he got more in the tank. It's not over just yet, because he says come here boy, and then kicks him directly in the face, then proceeds to smack him with a projectile, leaving this Looney Tunes imprint. So Venom brings him back inside of the high school, and Peter finally uses his brain for once and slams a baseball bat against the locker, which makes Venom tweak out completely because he falls down on all fours. But that angered him quite a bit, because he gets back up and breaks the entire bat in half, and that was definitely a sign for Peter to dip out of there as fast as he can. And then Spider-Man proceeds to dive down to the first floor, and he turns into Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal, cause he hits these clean dodges, not letting a single one of Venom's webs touch him. And Venom was not paying attention to his surroundings, because he falls to the ground and takes a bit of fall damage. And basically the fight ends with Venom putting Spider-Man into a high school bully pose, and then he shoves the gene cleanser down his throat. Like pause, I'm not even gonna say anything, but that was very questionable. But yeah, the mission was successful, and Venom loses all of his symbiote abilities and everything is back to normal. And yeah, that's the end of the video, and if you guys enjoyed this and made it to the very end, might as well hit that subscribe button, because I will be making more Spider-Man videos, so you guys don't want to miss out on that. But yeah, I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.